Welcome to episode 3. This is going to be an overview of the upcoming trip to Tuktoyaktuk, Northwest Territories. Yeah, I know that's a mouthful. Northwest Territories above the Arctic Circle in Canada. The trip is about 5,000 miles long, give or take 1,000 miles. It depends. But basically what we're going to do is take I-90 out of Boston into Ohio, bang a right on I-75 through Detroit and up to St. Ignace, right at the border of the UP, the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. And that's where we connect with US Route 2, which will take us all the way west through Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, of course, and then we bang a northbound out of Kalispell, Montana. This trip is going to be done in our 2019 modified Ford Ranger Lariat. We chose this platform because of its excellent gas mileage. It's going to be tight, got a lot of gear we're taking, but we think we've got it situated very comfortably to allow for me and my trusty blue tick coonhound, Belle, you'll hear me refer to her as Jippy, afford us some nice comforts. We had to do some fairly significant modifications, such as modifying the window in between the back and the front so we could crawl through it, removing the passenger seat for the refrigerator freezer. A lot of cool mods. We'll be going through all that in upcoming videos. We'll be doing a lot of gear videos, some reviews, that sort of thing. The vehicle is 4-wheel drive. We have 6 KO2 tires. One is on a swing arm on the back. We've got extra gas. We've got recovery gear. Got plenty of food. I got a dog. Not too concerned. Well, I kind of am, but I'll be all right. This video is specifically just an overview of the trip itself. So once you get to St. Ignace in Michigan, you go westbound on US Route 2, which is, by the way, the northernmost US route in the United States. I've never been on it. I've been in every state in the contiguous United States, and I've never even laid foot on this US route. But this route is going to go due west all the way to Kalispell, Montana, where there we'll bang a north on Route 90 something, 93, 95, 97. It's a state route. And that'll take us all the way up into British Columbia through the Canadian Rockies. Once you get through British Columbia, you hit the Yukon, and somewhere around Dawson City, Yukon Territory, you're going to intersect with the Dempster Highway. The Dempster Highway was actually just opened from Inuvik to Tuktoyaktuk, I think 2017, maybe 2018. It's a relatively new dirt gravel road built on top of the tundra, the frozen tundra. It moves a lot. It can be a real mess, but I think we're geared for it. Getting into Canada will be a pain in the ass. I've had troubles with them in the past. I don't know why I always got to be so damn contrary, but I've had several run-ins with Canadian border. Once they actually turned me away. It was a smuggling issue. I'll get into that some other time. No, I wasn't arrested. And no, I wasn't smuggling. They said I was smuggling, but I wasn't smuggling. I was kind of smuggling, but I didn't know I was smuggling. Okay, here's the deal. I had some wood, some timber, some lumber from the Black Forest of Germany, which I didn't know that was on their list of things you can't import to Canada, for a special job for a special person in Toronto that was going to pay me big bucks. Not going to go into those details. I've sworn to secrecy, but they wouldn't let me into Canada with that stuff and turn me around. That was 20 years ago. Had some troubles back in the 70s, you know, those kind of troubles. I've had issues with Canada. So while I don't consider myself persona non grata with Canadian border, there's going to be some questions, and there's probably going to be an inspection or two, maybe an extensive inspection or two. That's fine. I won't be taking any firearms for that reason. I'm going to make it as easy for them as possible to let me in and go see their beautiful country, because I love Canada. Eh? Well, Jippy's going with me. She will be able to stick her head through the opening from the back to the front and watch me drive. And I'm teaching her how not to howl at moving things, because everything is moving. She wants to howl at everything. But she's pretty well trained now not to do that. But I do need to stop every hour or two, which I'm gonna do anyway, to let her out, run around, sniff. Maybe we'll chase some critters. We like chasing critters. Unless it's illegal in your area, then we don't like doing it. In fact, we strongly oppose it. Strongly. I can't say strongly enough how much we oppose letting trained land piranha tracking hounds track critters. I can't say enough how much we completely disagree with letting them do that if it's not allowed. If it is allowed, those critters better watch out, because she will clear everything within a county-wide area. Done. Okay, so Jippy's going to go with me. She has some issues with bang as you drive. I fixed that. I learned my lesson when I tried to take her and my recently deceased redbone coonhound, Blue, to Ohio to chase critters on my mom's property. What a shit show. My traveling companion said, "You know, Chris, it'd probably be a good idea to give the dogs some Benadryl, calm them down." And I said, "I'm a trained houndsman. I can handle my critters. I can handle my dogs. They'll do as I say. They'll lay down, they'll shut up." That was the most miserable 600 miles I've ever taken part in, and I'll never do that again, because I about lost my mind. One good story though. We stop to get dinner. I have to feed the dogs at around 6 p.m. That's their feeding time. Didn't take any food. I had some dry kibble, but they don't like that shit. But I had some in case of an emergency. I pulled into a McDonald's and I bought, I don't know, a dozen or 2 dozen plain hamburger patties, just hamburger. Gave them a sit command, put them in sit, gave them each one. They put it in their mouths, dropped it to the ground, looked at me like, I ain't eating that. I swear to Christ, they would not eat it and dropped them on the ground. Would not eat a McDonald's hamburger. No bun, no nothing, just meat. Wouldn't eat it, either of them. And we're talking about dogs that'll roll around in moose carcass. They will eat the remains of a distended guts of a skunk. They're lamb piranha. Wouldn't eat it. Went across the street to an Arby's. Bought a dozen or 2 just plain Arby's roast beef sandwiches. Threw away the buns. They chompled that stuff, ate that stuff like it was nothing. Loved it. So, I know I've got an age restriction on this channel, but teach your kids, don't eat McDonald's. If my dogs won't eat it, it is not fit for human consumption. Full stop. So, Blue is no longer with us, so I don't have to worry about him. Belle, I've been making these short trips with her in the back. She's getting a lot better. She gets a little chippy sometimes, but if I tell her to shut the F up, she will. Sort of. Well, not really, but she kind of does. I haven't seen her yet lay down and just relax. That hasn't happened yet. I'm hoping somewhere in the first 2,000 or 3,000 miles, she'll get the hang of that. We'll see. But I have to take her to the vet to get rabies vaccinations so I can get a certificate. I don't do that ordinarily. I give my dogs I give them rabies shots, and I don't give them to them every year because that's stupid. A dog only needs a rabies shot it depends on the dose, but every 3 years and sometimes 5 years. That's just a racket to get them vaccinated every year. Don't get me started on that subject. So I'll take her to a vet, I'll get her a vax certificate in case they ask for it at the border. I suspect she's gonna be so chippy when we're there, they're probably gonna want us to move along, hopefully, because she's loud. She gets really, really loud. My objective is to only drive about 350 miles a day. I'd like to be done driving by noon, 1 o'clock every day. Make camp, chill, hike, chase critters if it's allowed by law. And if it's not allowed by law, I'll only chase those critters that are allowed by law. We love chasing critters. We put them up in trees and then we take pictures of them. Don't hurt them. We don't hurt critters. We piss them off though. We piss them off real good. There's nothing funner than putting a bobcat up in a tree and just listening to it. Dogs love it. Raccoons. Oh my God. I watched Jippy roll on the ground with raccoons, big raccoons, roll on the ground, and you just think somebody's gonna die. You just think your dog's just getting tore up. And when it's all over, nobody's hurt. They just scrapping. Watching a black bear up in a tree. That's fun. The dogs just lose their mind. And then you call them off and they say, okay, let's go find something else. I take those dogs out. Well, now there's just one. Blue's gone. But I take Jippy out every day. And if not every day, at least every other day. But usually every day. And we just do a 3 or 4 mile, me on my ATV, she out running in the woods. She's old enough now, she always comes when called. I can put her on a tracking collar. If I'm gonna take her out around dusk or early in the morning, you put a tracking collar on them because most mammals are crepuscular out in the woods, so they're up and at them, you know, dusk and dawn. So if I'm taking Jippy out dusk or dawn, she's gonna have a tracking collar on. I gotta be able to call her. You just tone her, 2 beeps, beep, beep, tone her to come back. You know, she might be out there a half mile. And if I hear her carrying on, I can normally tell what it is she's on, but I'll just call her back. But generally speaking, during midday, no, I take her out. She doesn't need a collar. Most critters are bed down. She's not gonna break anything loose. Where we go, all the animals know they've got about a 300-yard off our path distance. They need to, anywhere past that 300 yards, they're okay to bed down because I won't let her go out much further than that, if at all. Not during midday, not when the critters are bed. So the Dempster Highway, when they built it to Inuvik, they didn't continue it all the way up to Tuktoyaktuk. Primarily, I suspect it was because of the tundra. You know, building a road on tundra is a nightmare because of the freezing and thawing. The upper level, the thawing on top, and the heaves, the frost heaves, and that sort of thing. They finished the road for Inuvik to Tuktoyaktuk like in 2017. It's fairly new, and it is the northernmost public road above the Arctic Circle. It's as far as you can go north in North America on a road that you can drive. That is why I'm going there. The why of this trip is because this is as far as you can go. And the farthest south that you can go is the Darien Gap. A lot of people think you can drive all the way to South America, but you cannot. The Darien Gap in Panama, in Colombia, I think it's technically all in Panama, but I think it's 60-mile section of jungle that there's no getting through. A couple of expeditions, overlanders have done it, but it took them months. I mean, it's a hellhole. There's just no getting through it. So if you want to drive to South America, you have to take some kind of ferry, either out of Colombia or out of Panama. You hop on a ferry or a ship and go around the gap and get into Colombia. I'd love to do that. Love to drive down to Argentina. Love to see Patagonia in my vehicle. Is there a chance we may do that once we head south out of Tuk? There's a chance. I don't know. I do want to take, there's a a series of small roads that go through the Rockies, the Continental Divide, all the way from Montana down to Arizona. I want to do that. I want to see Yellowstone while I'm out and about. So there's a few things that we want to accomplish while we're out in the United States. But, you know, I'm definitely going to go down in Mexico. Well, I guess I can't say definitely. Mexico is a good idea. Not real concerned with Mexico. I love the culture. So that's about it. At the end of this video, there is a sequence of maps going from state to state and from province to province that'll show you the mileage and the routes. This vehicle, and you'll see in upcoming gear vids. Yeah. Jesus. Outtake.